I finally went back and set up all the calculations for battleships with somewhat notable personal damage. So here's today's outline. First is an update about the endgame tier list. Second, I explain how I do the calculations. Third, I show an example with Lion. And finally, we go over the battleship list. On the tier list, we have damage ratings from a scale of 1 to 5, where 2 and above is somewhat notable damage, 6 is power creep, and 1 is a huge range containing all the rest of the ships. There is a problem, and that is new weapons like LA9, Rafaela Sap Gun, and the PR8 Mech Gun. These damage ratings for medium and heavy assume that the BB is using Champagne Gun, but with the release of new and better guns, it is no longer reflective of endgame. So I would like to update all BBs to using Mech Gun for medium and heavy, but the problem now is that many irrelevant BBs will go from a 1 to 2, and I don't have bandwidth to manage all of their calculations. So here's my solution for now. I will update the guns for now, but ignore all the BBs who would have gone from 1 to 2. And later, after I recalculate all the top 30 or 50 carriers, I will raise the damage threshold for both BBs and CVs. So if 2769 DPS is a 3 right now, then it will become a 2. Second is calculations. I'm not releasing the code, but I will explain how I do things. There are 3 key components of the damage calculator: definitions, assumptions, and formulas. Definitions are the ship stats, gear stats, and barrage stats. Assumptions need to be made about hit rates and buffs. How likely is a battleship shell to splash the enemy? Which buffs apply for how long? I painstakingly wrote the assumptions for every single barrage and every single ship I have finished calculations for. The last key component is the damage formula, which you can find on the wiki. So you can even do a calculation by hand if you wanted to. Putting all of this together, my code automatically calculates the ship stats according to the equipped gear, then applies the ship's buffs and debuffs, and calculates the damage going slot by slot, ghost gun by ghost gun, and barrage by barrage. Let's have an example with Lion now. So 205164 is Lion's phone, ID, and I will give her Lion Gun, Rafaela Gun, and Mech Gun, one by one. And the rest of the gear slots are Plymouth Gun, Twin 76 for 15 hit, the Rainbow Table, and White Shell, and also the Officer Sword Augment. So I just press run, and then wait a bit, and then it spits out a bunch of numbers. I can also do the same for any other ship that I have written the assumptions for, such as Bismarck. But coming back to Lion, here is Lion using Mark II, which is Lion Gun, and over 77.7 seconds, she will do 390,000 damage against a light armor boss, and that is 5,000 DPS. And 62.3% of that DPS is coming from her main gun. 21.6% of the damage is coming from the 9 meteors when she fires her main gun, and 4.6% is coming from the 15-second barrage, and 11% of the damage is coming from the special burn. I exclude normal burn in the damage calculations. We can also see how she would do with the mech gun. Against heavy, for example, 4295 DPS, where 66.6% of the damage is coming from the main guns, so I believe you get the idea. This is the Google Sheet, and I am making it public. As you can see, I'm not logged in right now. However, I will not update this sheet with every new event, with every new battleship, or every new carrier. This is just for those curious about a snapshot. You can find the latest thresholded damage calculations on the tier list instead. And before someone cries about how Vanguard sucks because she's so low on the list, I will tap the sign that says personal DPS or personal damage. You should also read all the disclaimers. Indeed, Lion is even more broken than this sheet shows because she gives the whole 10% damage buff for the entire fleet. Even though you don't have edit permissions, you can still sort by armor types because obviously battleships have biases and the ranking might change between armor types. This sheet is for DPS, so we use DPS maximizing gear like the Rainbow Table and the White Shell. Now let's look at BB damage 80 seconds. This is the performance in an 80-second battle like Meta Showdown. Currently there's a hard cutoff at 80 seconds, so if the last salvo needs 80.1 seconds to finish hitting, then that salvo's damage isn't counted at all. BBs with worse reload stat or a slower gun are forced to run autoloader. This is all automatic, by the way. I calculate the damage with the White Shell and the damage with autoloader and then take the higher one. Over here is the overall ranking by averaging the 3 armor types together with equal weights. You'll have to exit the sorting to see this correctly. Lion with 363,000 is the average of 390,000 with Lion Gun, 366,000 with Rafaela's gun against medium, and 331,000 damage against heavy with Mech Gun. let me show something interesting here. We have Champagne, a gold rarity research ship, doing worse single target damage than Nevada, a gray to blue retrofit. And yes, there are like 50 unique ships in this sheet, but the bottom ones are just random picks. There are a lot of BBs not on the list who actually beat these bottom BBs in damage, but I am pretty confident that the top 30 are all covered. So here's the list. Keep in mind that it's average across all armor types equally, and this is for an 80-second battle specifically. If you love this, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, give me a thumbs down and drop a comment asking why the hell am I doing math in a waifu game.